Yet and still, you want to give him credit for what he's done on the football field as it's an added bonus. But then you say, you know what? He got a lot of maturing to do. Which is it? You're going to give somebody else credit as a feather in his cap, but then turn around to the dude that's putting the work in on the football field, he still need to mature. No, brother, no. See, first of all, here's what's happening. The problem what we seeing around the circle of this thing is you've been invalidated. See, before in this industry, we used to take your word for it. In this industry, it used to be 3 or 4 people that were gatekeepers. People that controlled the narrative, controlled the information, controlled what we was talking about. The whisperers and people running around talking about what we do and what we don't do, right? Those whispers have been invalidated. No longer does your word matter like that. Matter of fact, you might just be another dude like me talking on the internet. But under no circumstances are we going to allow you to run that narrative back 2 years in a row. Under no, here's what I'm going to say, not we. I got time and energy. I got time and energy. And I'm not trying to be no scout. And I ain't trying to be in the mix. I'm only here for the truth. I'm only here to talk my talk. That's it. So I don't get off my pivot very easily. You tried it last year and it worked. And it slid all the way down to the 5th round. But you ain't about to get that off now. You ain't about to get that off now. Because I done been in the building. I done been in the city. We done all seen it. We done seen the play on the field. The fact of the matter, you lose credibility every time you say stupid stuff like that. That was the dumbest comment I've ever heard. He needs to mature. How? Again, G. Bush, I tell y'all, when people say these little blanket, little talking points, you got to get down to it like this. What do you mean by maturity? Give me an example. By the way, all that drifting in the pocket, I ain't seen him drifting in the pocket for 400 yards. See, what you got to do is, hey, listen, what you got to do is, hey, how many of these quarterbacks drifted? Todd? Was he drifting over here? Rookie quarterbacks with 350 yards passing, 3 touchdowns and a touchdown rushing. The only person, so that means Lamar Jackson was fading in the pocket. Josh Allen was too. I don't even see Joe Montana or Marino on this list. Huh? See, this is what I be telling y'all when things be happening. When you want to come with that narrative ball, when you get on, see, the goal was to not even put him on the football field. The goal was not to put him on the football field. They tried to red shirt him. They tried to say it's not fair to Dylan. It's not fair to have this guy behind him. Nobody care about what you think is fair. Take that 350. And the problem is this. You guys are running around and all you got to do is raise your hand and say, you know what? I had a bad evaluation. We all get it wrong sometimes. But no, you guys are running around triple, doubling, tripling, quadrupling down, right? Let's talk about it. It's courtesy 92.3 The Fan. Jonathan Peterlin and Nick Wilson have been on this since day one. Jonathan Peterlin, we talked about it. We've been saying it for over here. He said, watch why they work. Jonathan Peterson, watch how they work. He said this months ago. When he get in the football game, all of a sudden, it was the structure that got him to play well. It was the coaching staff that got him to play well. It was all of the above. He told you weeks ago. And boy, oh boy, they walked right back. They walked into that, didn't they? They walked right into that. The reason why Shedeur has learned quickly is because all of the extra time Stefanski spent with him. Ooh-wee. Peterlin Peterlin and Nick Wilson called this out a long time ago.
Understand that for months they tore him down, and the repercussions of that, it should be, you can't just dead cat bounce and all of a sudden we just sweep that under the rug because now for 3 weeks you're giving him first team reps. Like, you have to live with that idea that for you let it perpetuate the idea that he couldn't play football and he was so far behind and he was this and he was that, and it just wasn't true. Your own evaluations stunk. You have to own that at some point.
Well, and I think this is really, 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 I'm going to say really again because it feels really good.
One more
what I'm
time
saying.
would be nice.
Really important. What is frustrating is that you've done all this and you've been so absolute in your belief, and then several of us called this out in real time, how the season was going to go, how this quarterback room was going to go, and the faultiness of it, and the idea that you've wasted half a season with Dylan Gabriel. Because you didn't just waste the 6 games you started. You wasted the first 4 games because you were giving him number one reps in practice. And you, by the way, in camp, he was getting number 1 reps once Kenny Pickett got hurt as well. That was all time spent that could have been spent getting the better player ready.
If they'd just been, I don't know, opening their eyes.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. They've been calling it out in real time. We've already predicted over here what the pivot would be. Oh, it's the Browns' infrastructure that has made Shedeur Sanders look so great. And then I threw a monkey wrench in the game and said, listen, you don't learn nothing by doing nothing. You don't sit on the bench and osmosisly it absorbs into you. You sit and watch. These talking points are beginning destroyed in real time. And you know what? You can get mad at people if you want. This is what comes with it. If you've been, and I love what he said about that, you let that idea that he was slow, didn't know what he was doing, immature, a distraction, you let that matriculate and grow and fester. You couldn't even, it seemed like the coach couldn't even say the dude's name. Took him 7-8 weeks. And then, by the way, you said, hey, listen, no backup quarterback gets first team reps. Liars. Because just like they put it in here, Dylan Gabriel was getting first team reps from the get-go, from Jump Street, from 21 Jump Street, from the plane from Oregon. From the plane since day one. He was given everything. But we forget that? No, you didn't forget it. What it's called is you trying to grab and claw and fight and figure it out in real time. The ground and the feet, the ground underneath you has moved. Because the problem is when you got somebody doing stuff like this, when you have somebody throwing for that many yards, when you have, by the way, you make evaluations on these guys, and we keep all this stuff. When you're making evaluations on these guys and you start to see, wow, we tripped on this one. We really tripped bad on this one. Huh? When you start to get a point where you look at what happened, 4 touchdowns, 393 total yards, right? First rookie quarterback this year to throw for 300 yards in a season. Not the first overall